Hey folks, how's everything going? Good evening and welcome to this live stream. Okay, just before we start, there's an amazing question, but we'll start with that also. I'll just change the Zoom level. Okay, yes. Welcome to the live stream. Arun Goel is with us, as has been the case for the past, I think, a couple of months now, Arun?
Yeah,
Or
couple
more,
of months.
3 months maybe.
Yeah,
Superb. And that means that we are here for a live low-level design round. This time I'll be trying to code something, and you can see the title in the video itself. You know, we are trying to code a low-level design of a load balancer. So let's see how that goes. Welcome, Arun. How's everything going?
things are good with me. I'll be trying my level best to put you on spot and all the best. Let's see how it goes today.
Yeah, let's see. There's one question here, Arun, which is SKTSKT. This is an interesting name. So I went through your website for the course. Is it complete one-stop solution for me to gain knowledge on system design? Will I be able to know all the system design concepts? So if you're talking about the system design simplified course, then okay, let me set the expectations. If you're in SD1 or SD2, you will probably, SD2, up to SD2, you will know everything that you need to know for an interview. If you're in SD3, there are certain things that you need to know outside the course also, okay, which is, let's say you need to know about some popular design papers. For example, you should know about how MapReduce, the architecture works. So there's a very famous Google paper on this. Okay, how does the internals of Cassandra or Amazon work? The internals of Kafka. The reason I'm telling you this is because these patterns, these tools are very, very commonly used. And even if they're not commonly used, thinking behind these tools is very useful to apply in other places. So reading these papers helps you. There's also an expectation, if you're applying for SD3 or above, that you have some experience designing systems. So what did you do when you were asked to do, like you were asked to, let's say, build a image uploader? Okay, in your life, maybe once you have built an image uploader yourself, you haven't actually used any open source library or anything, you built it yourself. So then what were the things you considered? It's not necessarily scale. Did you test it properly? Was it extensible code? If it was not, then how did you, later on, did you make it extensible? Did you not make it? Why? So those kind of questions will be expected of you. And up till SD2, everything is covered. SD3 and above, not everything is covered. It's useful for revision, let's say. For SD3, it is useful actually to go through it and also go through additional material. It's not all there, but yeah. Above that, like if you're a staff engineer or a principal engineer, it's good for revision, I should say. Before an interview, like you go through lead code, you also want to go through this. Are there any plans to bring front-end system design course in future? Sai Prasad? Yes, we'll get you soon. Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, sir. I currently work at Cognizant, but I want to switch as SD1 in company, so I wanted to know what they'll expect me to know from DSA. Apart from DSA, okay. You're currently working somewhere, you want to switch. Many companies just take DSA, no? Arun, what do you think?
So generally, first round is problem solving round. Generally, okay. After that, since he has experience also, so everyone is going to ask him low level design, high level design for sure, and maybe a little bit experience questions as well. So
this is that behavioral interview also, no? That
that HR, yes, HR round, that is also there. So first of all, DSA, of course, like since he's asking apart from DSA, then go for LLD and HLD. Like I know Amazon, they'll definitely ask. Google only asks DSA questions. There'll be 4 or 5 rounds. just for DSA. Apart from that, every other company goes for LLD or HLD questions, and LLD is also good for problem solving. So I think they should also learn LLD, like not learn, basically solve few questions so that they get a good hold of how to approach the questions when they are given in an interview.
Okay, that's good. LLD, we have a course out, guys, but we still haven't been able to make it public because we got some good feedback. I don't know, some of you maybe right now, we called you also recently, and we got some really good feedback. We are working on it to make sure that this course is like really, really, really good. So, okay. And I think last week we had promised that we will get this out in 1 or 2 weeks. So it's not going to be 1 week, it will be 2 weeks, which is basically 1 week from now.
Yeah.
So amazing. Okay. How can I make use of these concepts being a SD1 front end? Okay. Low level design, I don't know if it's relevant to front end engineering. Feeling excited to see you live. Thank you. Do you have a DSA algo course? No, not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. I'm with 4 years experience, was employed. So guys, we'll take questions till 7:15. Stay tuned. We'll start just after that. I'm with 4 years experience. I was employee number 4. Built systems which currently do over 1 million QPS. Have been want to switch to SD3 or SSE, but the years of experience they offer SD2, which is no fun. How do I convince recruiters? God, man, that's a tough one. Aditya Rao.
You can go for startups only. I don't think any MNC would give this post, but startups of course can.
Like you're employee number 4, you have built this kind of a system. Startups will understand. The problem with large companies is they have many things to consider. Parity is one thing. The rest of the people will be like, who's this guy? He got an SD3 role. That too from outside.
Yeah.
I am working with you for, let's say, 4 years.
So many years.
You didn't give me SD3. You're giving this person from outside SD3. How is that possible? Even though your competency might be higher, they will still find it difficult.
Yeah.
Does LLD concept change with language, like when working with OOP or functional language? Some of the concepts are the same, some of the concepts are different, frankly. Python mein, what you do is slightly different from what you do in Java. And Golang has certain concurrency design patterns which are not the same for Java. But the things that we talk about in the YouTube videos and especially in the course are all language agnostic. Meaning we don't say in Java, there's a static method, therefore we should do it this way. All of them are about, okay, this is the problem, this design pattern should be applied. That's why we go through a UML diagram first before even coming to the language. Finally, we just map that to a language. So even if you code in Python, you should be able to understand it. But you know what? Go through these YouTube videos. If you feel they're good, then you'll definitely be impressed by the course. I'm a fresher and currently working as backend developer on DSA. Any suggestions on moving to full stack? Or shall I stick with backend and prepare to make a switch?
It is quite easy right now, I feel, to be a full stack engineer. He just can start working on, or maybe, learn one language. Let's say start working on React. Okay, build a small to-do app, and it would be a great start. Then he can go on learn Redux, and this would give him a head start. So
okay,
and this he already has experience in backend. So I feel, and there's one more suggestion which I can give, which I followed in my orgs, since I was working as a front-end engineer initially. So what I said was that there is a project which is coming up. I'm already doing front-end part of it. Start giving me a little bit back-end part of it also. So you can do the same. If it's a good organization, if it's an MNC, I don't think there'll be any issue giving you front-end part, solving the front-end part. They'll in fact give you a onboarding plan as well. So
that's very, very nice.
Yeah.
That's a very, very nice idea. Very thoughtful of you. Because if you ask them that,
Please go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking, like, Arun, if you go to any manager and ask them that, hey, I want to work on the back end, then they're always scared. But if you tell
Yeah.
them that, I'm already working on the front end of this, I have
Yes.
context on the back end also, just help me, especially if it's a small feature, they'll be
Yes.
more than happy. Non-critical small feature, nothing like it to actually start moving.
Yes. And there's a website, Front End Masters. All the front end related good courses are there. So go for it. Take a subscription. All the front end related course you'll be able to find. Any front end language, any front end platform, any library, you'll find it there.
I've
Frontendmasters.com.
heard this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard from, like, Rachit Jain had told me about this when I was thinking of starting my own website. Like, people
Hmm.
were like, just learn front end. So front end masters, I have heard good things about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm working with, Sahil is asking, I'm working with SQL, but I want to switch to DevOps field at different company. What would be the approach? He's working with SQL, meaning you're working on the database side of things, but wanting to switch to DevOps. Mm, If
So,
in a startup, it's very easy. Yeah, Arun?
see, what I think about it is that if you're already working on database and you want to switch your company in some other role, I this is quite difficult actually because you'll be having no experience to show. If you have, then it's really good. But since you're working on database, I don't think you would have experience. If you have a small projects which you have already made, then put it in your resume and go for it. Apply for those roles, and you'll be offered an interview. But if not, then what you can do is within your same organization, you can approach the other team. This is generally what I've seen people doing in a MNC. That okay, if they start working, if they want to work on DevOps, go for it. Talk to any of the team's manager if they can give you small amount of work, which you can start doing, and then you'll have an experience in DevOps also. So and then which you can showcase in some other company maybe.
Okay, great. So last question before we move to the the low level design of a load balancer. What kind of low level design and high level design questions are probably asked as a SD1? I think you can just go through the interview ready course. You get a very
Yeah.
good idea of what kind of questions are usually asked as SD1 or SD2. Even as SD3, the depth at which they expect your answers are different. Usually,
Yes. The requirements could be different actually. So
yeah.
for example, if they can pick up social media also, for example, they can give you any social media. Let's take Facebook for example. What they can expect from a SD1 is just build user profile, feed wall, timeline. Let's say only these three features. But on the contrary, if there is SD2 who is giving, you can add many more features that you can like, you can comment on a post, two more functionalities added, and the system is complex now. Now later on, let's say SD3 has come in and they want to ask the same question, so they can go ahead and add the chatting feature also. Now this is very complex. Maybe they can add some marketplace because Facebook is doing these days, right? So they can add it as well. So system कोई भी हो, complex कर सकते हैं मतलब.
Yeah, something as basic as like I was hearing Aadhaar, for example. The system is not very complex. It's a very simple system. Or let's say the functionality is very, very simple. Just make profiles. That's it.
Mhm.
Just make profiles. But now comes to make it complex, security. Biometric data has to be stored. Okay. The API has to be consumed by many different types of clients.
Mm.
Now, what happens when there is a, let's say, a bank which wants to be onboarded? What if there's a
KYC.
bulk load? Yeah, KYC has to be
Yeah.
done. What if there's a bulk KYC that needs to be done? Uh, what if you have to make sure that nobody in the backend can? So there was a use case like you want to find out all the girls in the particular area, pin code. Fire a query, right? Let's say there's a guy in the backend who's sitting down and firing an SQL query. So you have to avoid that. How do you avoid that? So I'm just making the system more and it's possible to do with pretty much any system. So okay, very very interesting. Let's start with the low level design of a load balancer. Okay,
Yeah.
Arun. So how do we go about doing this?
Okay. So first of all, everyone knows about load balancer, right? Now the function of load balancer is that a number of queries would come. Let's say n queries are coming, and you have to map them to different servers, right? Now you can map in any number of ways, right? For example, you map the first query to server 1, then second query to server 2, third query to server 3. So this is called round robin fashion. You
Okay.
can also, what you can also do is, till the time first server is overloaded, for example, first server can handle 5 requests easily. So you keep on mapping the first 5 requests to server 1. Later on, if the server 1 is overloaded with requests, then you go to server 2.
Okay.
Then when server 2 is also overloaded. So there are different algorithms for load balancing, right? Which have different significance. So
Okay.
what
Yes.
what we
Yes.
want to do is basically these are different algorithms only, right? Weighted Robin search, least connection method, all of these are different algorithms. So what we want is we want to build a system where system or user would tell which algorithm he wants for his load balancer, and we would give him that load balancer, or our system would give him that load balancer, or the load balancer with working with that algorithm.
Okay.
So basically I'm asking you to make a factory
Okay.
where
No, no, I'm
where
so I'll go. I think I got lost for a second there.
okay,
What you are asking is create a load balancer which has a customizable algorithm or has a set of algorithms, any one of which can be picked. So you will tell me the
yes,
algorithm, and I will,
yes,
the load balancer will behave in that way. Or
yes.
you will say, this is my algorithm. Maybe I'm making my life too difficult, but you can say, this is my algorithm and balance the load based on this.
Let's not pick this
Yeah,
because
that'll
I
be
don't
too tough,
think,
no?
yeah, that would be too tough.
Okay,
Uh,
okay,
we can have, let's say, we can have 5 or 6 algorithms. For this interview, we can take 1 or 2. People would understand. Okay,
okay,
will so client would come in the factory. It would say that okay, I want load balancer with this algorithm. For example, round robin or least connection method, least response time, and then you'll have to give him that load balancer.
okay. Algorithms can be mentioned by client during init. Can they change midway, like 10 minutes into
Midway.
the yeah, you got a load balancer. Now suddenly you say, listen, this request has to be weighted robin because it's going to service
Mm-hmm.
profile, and this
Mm-hmm.
request has to be uh, least connection because it's going for some other thing.
Okay. In
So
that case,
you can create different load balancers for different services. Yeah, that will
yes,
make it different
yes,
instead of this.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. So let me try to do that. Class load balancer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the essence of a load balancer, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to capture that using a function which can be customized. Okay, so a bit wide. What does a load balancer do? Typically, if you what happens in a load balancer? Let's strip away everything and just say, what does it actually do? Uh, does it manipulate any data? No. It routes requests. It suggests where should I send this request to. Okay, so if
Yes.
you give me a request as an input, uh, then I should be able to give you a node as an output. I think this is the basic idea of a load balancer. Some sort of a place that you need to go to. Okay, so that is routing. So now I will just say uh, public. I need to give you a node, right? This node can be anything. It can be
You can basically, let's imagine, instead of node, number.
a
Let's say
number,
there are
an
5
address.
servers: server 1, server 2, server 3, 4, 5.
Okay, some sort of a destination, uh,
Yes.
and this is basically uh, and you're giving me a request. So request. Okay. So now I need to define request. The request has a ID and some parameters. Okay, so does it need to have an ID? I can assume it has an ID always. Okay. Okay, and now it has a map of parameters. So let's just say it will be a map of string, which is the type, the name of the parameter. So if there is JSON key value pairs, so these are the key value pairs. So string to string.
But all of this is metadata, right? How does this help?
What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to say if there's a request and you know what kind of parameter I should route it on, you tell me and I'll route it.
Okay.
So if you tell
But
me that
that is not mentioned in the question actually.
Yeah.
We just want to give any request the appropriate server.
Okay. What I'll do is okay. You want general algorithms also to be plug and play.
Yes.
I'll just go ahead with this for a little while, and I think it will work that way also.
Okay.
My algorithms then will be a type of this. Will be using this to work.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and a destination, some sort of IP address, let's say. This may be something else also. You can actually have a website also where you're balancing the load.
Right.
Okay. This is good, and I want the load balancer to tell me how this is going to happen. So this is an abstract method. This is an abstract class. Okay. So what this means is my load balancer cannot be created. You always have to say that I want this type of load balancer. So class, we mentioned that least connection is 1. So least connection. So, okay. Now, what's going to happen is I need to have a set of nodes also, or a set of destinations. So
yes.
Okay. Which means there needs to be a map of destinations, set of destinations for a type of request. So request. Right. So request can have a request type. So it's a group request, or it's a any kind of request will have a type.
Okay.
It can also have a name, let's say. So I can assume that this name is distinct.
Okay.
So I'll just make it type so that life is easier. So this is string or request type.
So what are we trying to do right now? Like,
so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say that for a particular type of request, there are a set of destinations which have subscribed to this request. For
right.
example, if you say group request or get group request, the group service will say I can take this request, and here
Okay.
are the number of nodes that I have.
Right.
So that is one thing. If there's a profile request, the profile service will say, listen, I have 6 nodes, and you have to route it to one of these nodes.
Right.
I can make it even better. I can say that this is a service, so a map of request type to service.
And then service can have destinations.
Yeah, and a service will, yes, absolutely. So I'm making it generic. It will look a little scary, I think, initially, but as things move forward, I think it will become very easy.
Why are we not making service a different class?
So yes, let us. I'll just do that. Service is a class. Oh, okay. You mean to say
Then will
the
not,
service should have a set
yes,
of destinations inside it? Okay, yes, I
then
totally agree. Yes,
then will not have line number 15, or load balancer will not have to store it.
yes, that's But the problem with this is the load balancer has to ask the service every time to tell what are the properties of a node. In case I need to know,
Mm-hmm.
how many connections are on a particular node, I need to go and
Right,
ask.
right.
Okay, I can keep it here also, but then the service will have that information. So a node will have information and a service. I think it's a good idea to keep the map of or a set of destination here. And the destination will have certain properties apart from IP address, maybe int weight. So the number of
Number of,
requests which it is currently serving.
yes, yes.
So okay. So I just made weight something like if you take a large instance on AWS,
Yes,
that is heavy, and this is
yes.
light. So okay. Okay, this is great. Enum request
There,
type.
there should be. What do you think? There should be functions to add more requests in a destination and delete requests or waits in a destination.
Yes,
You know,
yes. There should be a way to
and
register a request type to a service, and
yes,
there should be a way to add destinations to a service. Yes. In a service, can we change anything? No. This class is immutable. So this is good. I mean, it is immutable. This, like you mentioned, I'll just make a class for this public uh,
void.
void. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Destinations. Yes. Now we can add
And
destinations,
don't
and
you
we
think
would also
we should
yeah.
we should have functions basically when a request has been added to a destination? So we need to change the state of the destination, but there are no functions to change the state of the destination.
Yes. Yes. So in a service, I mean, when the load balancer actually does it, it's going to go
Yes.
and change the state of that node.
Yes.
So
So and the
I'll
node is
pick that up.
destination.
So a destination is a node or
You're right.
a
Right.
box. So it
Right.
might even be a container, but
Right.
so the number of requests. So there is
So
void.
it will have a threshold also, don't you think?
Yes. So it could be weight. No, yeah, threshold. Yes, that's
Could be.
that's right. Maybe weight then is not making much sense.
Threshold could be in terms of weight also. For example, so threshold could be, let's say,
Threshold. If we are
let's say 100,
balancing load. Okay. Okay.
100 units. I don't know. I'm not getting the unit. How? What
Yeah.
should be the
Yeah.
unit
Maybe
here?
100 requests per second, and
Yes,
you
100
have
requests
weight
per
which
second.
is right.
For
So then
example,
I think
first is
I don't.
weighing.
I may not need weight here. I think I'll
Yeah,
just go with threshold,
yeah. Number of
and then
requests.
request being served. Okay, increment number of requests. Okay, and a destination may call this function in itself, which is a private
Yeah,
method which says complete request.
yeah.
So
Which
this
will
will,
check if
and
threshold
this
is
will,
met or not.
yeah, it will request being served will get decremented, and here
Hmm.
request being served will get incremented. And before we increment number of requests, like that I should say, uh, step request should return boolean. And if I say uh, threshold is less than equal to, this might be multi-threaded, but in a single node, I'm assuming there's only one thread which is reading requests one by one. So if, threshold is less than request being served, then do this. Else, return false. Okay, this is going to accept requests. We mentioned that service map is some place where we can add services. So
there's one more thing which you're missing.
Yes.
Very basic.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just
suppose
go through this. Yeah.
Okay. When the request has been served.
Okay.
So of course the server would be freed from serving that request, right?
Yes.
Or the destination. So we need to decrement as well.
Here, complete request. So once it is served.
Okay. 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 We have done it here. Got it.
Right. No. So the good thing about that will be, if we are dropping a request, we can drop it.
Right.
And yeah, this is the destination. The destination, if I see the state it is holding, threshold is a final threshold. This is immutable. IP address is immutable. Request being served is mutable and it's being handled here. If I see request type, there are different types of requests. Request, all of this is immutable, which is good. Here the destinations are mutable. I can only add destinations. I can also actually remove a destination. Yeah. So I'll do that. A node gets unregistered. Okay. Least connection is a type, but add service, basically service map dot put. Over here, there is a service which is registering itself for a request type. Services have name actually. Okay, and no, this is inverted. Sorry, I accept this type of request. No, this type of request is accepted by multiple. No, that's not possible. But one service can accept multiple types of requests. Okay, so.
Don't you think this should be opposite in line number 15? Key and the value should be different. Key and value should be vice versa.
So one service, let's say the group service, accepts create group, update group, get group admin. So multiple types of requests are being accepted by a single service.
So request would bring a request would bring a request type. So on the basis of that, you will give them a server. So the request type should be key.
Yeah. I could keep a set over here, but you're right. That won't make sense. This is easier. So in fact, this is the right way. Then again, this is the right way. Okay. Yeah, this is far better. Just looking at the request type, I immediately know which service is handling this. Okay. I can register myself. Let's assume you can't unregister for now.
Yes. Yeah.
You can balance load though. So this part is taken care of. Least connection, load balancer. What else happens? If I'm a load balancer, I need to know which destinations can I route something to, what type of requests are coming in. And now I need to know how do I route this. Okay. So balance load. This is remaining. Balance load, return null no. If given a request, if there is a least connection one, then I need to first go to my service map, get the, I need to get something here. What's the name? The service which handles this request.
Right.
In this service, I need to get the destinations. So now I need to do some smart thinking, like amongst all of these destinations for what do I need to do? Every destination, I need to see which one has the lowest. Oh, I can be a little smarter about this. So destinations dot stream, get me the one with the minimum number connections.
Hmm.
So I'm keeping a very simple algorithm. I'm not looking at the weight or the threshold. I'm just
Right.
saying the minimum number of connections. So okay, now min. Okay, and for every destination, tell me destination. No, there's a way to do this actually. Comparing int. Yes. So request being served. Yeah.
So load balancer could be of different types also, if you know it, right? Load balancer
Yeah,
could be within the service also. Load balancer could be within the client also,
that's true.
right? So,
That's true.
what do you
But
think if, yeah,
having said that, we are assuming that this is on the server only.
okay. So, okay.
I mean, otherwise that will be a different product only, right? You can't have that. And even if you're having it in the client, let's say this code is running on the client,
Hmm.
it seems generic enough that you can put in a destination.
Mhm.
It is rather tied to a service. Okay, if you have it on the
Yes.
client also, you know which service is going to accept this. You know,
Hmm.
you need that data of how many requests is this service or this destination actually having.
Or maybe what you can do here is, what I think is,
Yeah,
you're balancing the load right here, okay?
yeah,
Where you are accessing destinations, right?
okay,
Our service has a list of destinations.
yeah.
So why don't you give this responsibility to service to give you the correct destination, and then you can just return it.
I don't want to do that because the least connection load balancer has a particular type of logic inside it, which the service should not be aware of. Like if I tell it, give me the one with minimum connections, the
Mhm.
service the service has nothing to do with it. As a service, as an object, as an
Mhm.
abstract concept, this is kind of weird that I'm asking it to give me a destination with the minimum number of connections. So that logic is kept here in
Okay.
the load balancer itself. Yeah.
Okay.
Then what happens is whatever I need to do with this special logic, I handle myself. So return destination. This or else through is just going to say, okay, there is no destination that you have right now.
Mhm. Okay.
If this happens, it won't happen, hopefully, unless everything is unregistered. Local variable is redundant. Okay. So this is for least connection load balancer. That is all I'll need to do. Let me also try to do this for another type of load balancer, which is round robin.
Yeah.
So class.
Let's.
Okay. Now this is a single line. I have to just say. I have to just copy this part out. So I
And
can
you have
make
to
it a
keep.
yeah.
You have to
I can
keep the which request did you route it to the last time.
yeah. Actually, because this is always common. This
Hmm.
part is always common. I can take this, put it in the
And
abstract class.
yes.
Have it get service destinations for request. Uh, first, let me add the code here. Then I'll know. Okay, there is a request, and I am returning this set of destination. Okay, get destinations. Now this is easy because all we need to do is get destinations for this request. Oh, what happened? has private access in load balancer. So what, I can't use it here? Oh, because okay, inherited methods have to do it. Same package. So this is a Java specific thing, guys. Sorry for this that you had to go through this, but this can't be private. It will be, I think, protected is what they call it. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about that. It's access thing specific to Java. Again, skip. Okay. Now again here, load balancer. All I have to do is get destinations dot get any destination. So I stream them. I get any, and then I return that. That's it. This is a round robin. It's going to actually. I don't know if it is round robin. It's random. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
But
Sorry. It's not
we
round
can
robin.
no,
Yeah.
but we can say it round robin as well, na? Because the probability of giving each server is 1 by n here. So anyways, we are going to round robin fashion.
Actually, I don't know. It depends on the implementation of find any. So if it
Yes.
always picks the first one, then I'm screwed.
Yes, then you are. But
Yeah.
if it does, so right now we can imagine that, or you can keep the server count, right? Which, or the last server which you routed the request to. It would be simple then.
Yeah. So basically, then I have to keep a. If I really wanted to be super sure that there's going to be a round robin, I'm going to say, these are the destinations that we have for this request type. So once you give me a request type, the destination that I kept last time was this. So you have to give me the next one. My God, I have to make a list out of it first.
No, just keep the count of the last, or just keep the. So basically, suppose balance load. This time you are returning destination number 5.
Yeah.
So just update. Just keep a variable. That okay. This time I'm returning 5.
Yes, but how do I know that destination number 6 is next? Like the link over there in a set.
In a set,
It won't be possible to iterate.
It's not possible to iterate. For which you can keep them in a list.
In a list, yes.
Not.
That makes sense. Okay. What do I do here? I'll just
import it.
Okay. So now we have request. We have a map now. I think I might be complicating this a bit, but having said that, yeah. Now what I need to do is this is if destinations for request does not contain this request type, then put it in this map. As this is basically a technical thing, we could give you randomized, but we don't want to. So we want to ensure that there is exactly one request going around in the circle in the round robin. Yeah. So that's the reason why we are doing this. Put destinations for this request type.
Okay. There's something which I want to ask right now.
Yes, of course. Am I solving my own question, or am I solving the question which is asked? Sorry.
No. You're doing it the right way.
Okay.
It's different from what we are solving right now.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what are the disadvantages of using the round robin algorithm in a load balancer?
One thing would be that I would need to maintain some state in the load balancer. The complexity of if a service unregisters or registers itself is high, because let's say there are 3 servers and each of them have 10 requests which are being served. A 4th one comes in. Now instead of giving the next 10 requests to the 4th one, which will evenly balance the load, I'm going to be going around in a fashion, in a circular fashion. It's also not a single point of failure, but if request number 4 I send it to a server and I don't get a response, then I'll try request. Then I should try server number 5. or I can just fail the request. Actually, is that a problem? No, it's not. That happens with every request that I route. I can say only problem that I see is the state management.
But state you'll have to manage in other algorithms
Yes,
also. So how is it
yes.
a problem then? If you have to do it in every algorithm, how
Well,
is it
it
a
does not.
problem?
Other algorithms like least connection, at least they make sense that I'm sending it to the server with the lowest load, so I'm balancing load or looking at threshold. Here, what I'm doing is I'm balancing. I'm not looking at the capacity of the server. I'm just doing a round robin. I'm not
Yes.
looking at which server has finished requests faster or
So
which server is more powerful. Yeah.
so the main disadvantage, if you say, of round robin is that we don't know if this request has been routed to this server, is this server free or not? Suppose this server is already overloaded, but what our algorithm says is that we have to route it to this server. If this is already overloaded, we shouldn't. But this is the disadvantage or drawback of this algorithm, that it will, and this request would be failed.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
came
That is.
weighted round robin algorithm.
Yes. Yeah. There's a weighted round robin algorithm. Yes.
Yes. And can you tell me why don't we use weighted round robin algorithm? What is the disadvantage of that or drawback of that?
I'm not sure. I've coded this
Mm-hmm.
myself, but I can't remember the weighted round robin algorithm exactly. I think it says that
Okay.
keep.
So I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember the
Just
algorithm also. Weighted round
yeah,
robin.
no worries, no worries. So the thing is that this algorithm is not smart. So for example, I know that server one can handle this request in much faster way. But what happens in, again, weighted round robin or round robin, that if it is server three's turn, then this request would be routed to server three. What a system's responsibility is to serve the request in the most fastest way. That's when came least response time algorithms, and there are others also. But of course, now if you have least response time, that means the load balancer, that means the load balancer will have to keep a map. Okay, this server would be able to serve this request in this much time. So this would make server heavier or load balancer heavier.
Correct.
Why I
Yeah.
wanted to ask this question was that each and every algorithm has their drawbacks, pros and cons, and each and every system would use different algorithms. That is why we are solving this problem here, where anybody would give you an algorithm and you would be using that load balancer. Just to explain the audience out there
Yeah.
that we always have relevance. Like there's no point having so many algorithms. Of course, they are going to have relevance. Each and every algorithm is having different advantages and disadvantages. So depending on the system, you'll decide on which algorithm will you use.
Yeah. Absolutely. There might be some cases where just a random algorithm is good enough. There might be some cases where you want to route according to the request ID. You want to like route according to that, and in some cases, like you said, least response time is a good idea. But then what if the least response time is there because that server was free? Now
Yes.
suddenly something has hit it.
Overloaded. Yeah. Suddenly
Yeah.
now suppose create
it's,
profile,
it's
or
it's not
maybe
a
let's
bad
say
algorithm. Like, okay, you're sending least response time. The good thing about it is you're checking all the time. The moment its response time is beaten by somebody else, you start routing requests over there. But then you have to maintain that state.
yes.
Not that hard, not that hard, but yeah, it's
Suppose
possible.
there are many servers,
Yeah.
right? In that case, this will make the load balancer heavier because there are so many incoming requests, and you're every time checking the state and then serving or sending the request to the server, which is taking a time, right?
Yeah.
So the response time would actually go down.
Now,
Right now,
another smart thing
right,
about this, yeah.
right
One
now.
thing that
Okay,
I've
go
heard.
ahead, go ahead.
No, sorry. The load balancer. Another thing that happens often, especially with a database load balancer, is you take the request. If it's a get request, if it's a select thing, and you route it to two nodes, and whichever one gives you a response faster, you just take that and send it back. So that is a different type of load balancing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it depends totally on the use case.
Right.
Okay, now I understand why we are having all these algorithms with a
Yes.
plug and play attitude for a load balancer. Okay,
Yes.
that's great. If destinations for the request are there, then just are not there, then put this equal to null. Contains, I think. It does not contain. If it contains, then do this, and then I'm surprised that this is okay. This destinations has to be converted to a list. Okay, I'll do that. And if it is already been converted to a list, now I also need another parameter here. So this will tell me the index of the last destination. This will be integer. Not a great way to do this. Ideally, I would convert this into an object list of destinations with an integer. So if you really
Or
want
just keep a queue, or just keep a queue
queue
from the
is
front. You need not to do all these calculations. Just keep a queue from the front. Remove the server.
and add it to the back.
Add it to the back.
Yeah, this is that's much better. Yeah, just simplifying the data structure makes life much easier. Yes. Agree. Okay, so destinations for request dot get request dot request ID. Now I don't need to stream it. I need to poll this. Okay, this is here. This is what we have polled, and then also I have to add it here. So it goes on the back of the queue, and then this is the. I'll just name it something. I return the destination. Okay, and this has to be converted to a queue. So there must be a simple way to do this. I'll just hack my way through it.
Yeah. We can leave it for now.
Yeah. Sorry for the naming, but okay. Convert a queue. For now, I'll just leave this. There must be a library method to do this. Balance load. Okay, so two types of load balancers are already created with minimal effort, so to speak, because only balance load is the function which is changing. Everything else is the same. Tomorrow, if someone comes, like Arun, you mentioned, give me the load balance based on the response times. I have to just add state over here to this destination.
Yes.
And the state will be basically response time. And then I will, instead of taking the one with minimum number of requests being served right now, I'll take the one with minimum response time being updated constantly. When the request completes, I'll change the current response time.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that takes care of
everything.
a general load balancer. Yeah. You can pass in the type of request. We will, and if you register the service to that, as long as destinations are there for a service, we will find the best destination according to the algorithm that you have chosen. So yeah, finally, I'll just do this. I will say class load balancer factory. So you don't need to create the load balancer. We'll create it for you. Just give us public.
Let's say you're getting a string. Okay.
Okay.
string saying least connection. So you return the least connection load balancer saying round robin. So return the round robin.
Okay, so you're passing me a string of
Yeah.
type, and so switch case this.
Do you think this would be void?
No, it will be a load balancer.
Yes.
Now, like case, you said round robin.
Yeah.
So I'll just assume that this is
Yeah.
hash. That makes it return new round robin load balancer. Yes. Otherwise, there needs to be a break here, is it? No, it is a return.
We don't need a break. We have already added return.
Yeah. Okay. What else? There could also be least connection. Okay.
Yeah.
And just make it okay. This is not a good idea. There is also a way to just say default it to least connection, but that will be a bad idea. Now default is better. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This takes what is wrong with switch? Replaced with enhanced switch.
Oh. Oh, great.
Yeah, this is too much ID stuff. Too few labels. Man, I think that's why you should not use ID too much also. Okay, yeah, this takes care of the load balancer that we need. Okay. Arun, do you think this is sufficient? Should we go ahead with questions or?
Yes, I feel this is sufficient. I think we should take up more questions.
Awesome. Okay. Vineet has a lot of comments.
Yeah.
Load balancer must be singleton pattern with load balancing strategies in strategy pattern. That is true. If you have one load balancer, then it should be a singleton. We are going for multiple load balancers depending on your use case.
No,
So
actually, what we are doing is
we are also
that,
storing
okay,
state, right? Yeah.
yes. So we are returning a system. We are making a system which would give you a load balancer according to your choice. So if there's only one load balancer, then of course we'll have to go with the singleton pattern.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So in fact, that in our case that is not true. If you had just one load balancer that you wanted, then yes. Also, yeah. So also another thing should have a heartbeat to check that things are working. That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Load
Which
balancer
a service can do. Which a service can do, or maybe destination can be there. So
Right.
before returning any of the servers, we can just check that, okay, if this is active or not.
Yes. Yes. So maybe there's a thing which runs every 5 seconds here, which checks whether go through all the destinations one by one and do that. Okay, great. That's a good point. Some service can take longer than others, so round robin will not distribute work evenly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think this is the answer to the question which I asked.
Absolutely. Least connected ordered by last connected. Is it? Least connected? Okay, actually, I should say accept request also, no? I haven't done that, but yeah.
It's fine.
Whenever we balance the load, I should have just said this destination. That's here and that's here also. Well, I guess you can also say that the destination itself can do this. It's the destination's responsibility to handle that. Okay. completed. Is this service map available to all different kind of load balancer? It's not static, but it's available to all different kind of load balancer because they are all extending this.
Hmm.
Okay. Weighted will be useful when machines are of different sizes. I just remembered there is a low-level design repo that I have created on GitHub, which has this taken care of. I'll share it here. Low-level design. Load balancer कहाँ है? Service orchestrator है. हाँ. Source main load balancer algorithms weighted round robin. Yeah, I have this. I did this long back. I'll just share it in the chat. Yes. Weighted round robin. Arun, you had mentioned. I totally forgot what it does. But yes, now I remember. Looking at the capacity of the server, it does round robin. Like 2 times it will send here, then once here, then 3 times here if it is 3x.
Yes.
Use min heap. Vineet had the right idea using min heap or something. Use heap.
But then heap would also have their logic actually, which
Yeah,
would take time. So
right.
it is the same, I feel.
Actually, min heap will give us the answer in order 1, and an update is log n. So he's actually, yeah, I am doing it with order n. So my reads are pretty slow. My writes are fast, but then it's a good idea. I think we can use a tree map here if that's the case. Min heap also we can use. Okay, Vineet has done a lot of lead coding, definitely. But thank you so much. These are really good comments. Queue for round robin, min heap for least response time and least connections. Amazing. Very brilliant. I think this is really, really good. How are we managing some session across the servers? Please clarify. Same session across the servers. You can have a single source of truth like a database or a global cache. How are you handling sticky sessions? It's very easy. When you do balance load, get destinations for this request, and then you basically, amongst the destinations, you use it as a list, let's say. So you will get them in a particular order, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you hash your current request, mod it with the number of destinations you have, and give it to the destination. I can, instead of saying it because it's a very common use case, routed load balancer. This is the destinations converted to a list. Okay, now this. Now I have a list of this. Now all I have to do is collect dot size. I have to take the request, hash it, divided by hash code gives us what? No, yeah. So this will give me the dot get. Pretty simple. Yeah, it's list. Okay, that's all. And you have now a routed load balancer. Depending on the request ID or request.hashcode की जगह request.id you can do. Take its hash. You want to change it? You want to make it group type? Just go to the params and pick it up. So anything can be done. Sticky sessions enabled. Beneath, in that case, the server is down. How is the session is updated? Okay. Ajit Pratap Singh is saying it violates open closed principle. Open for extension, closed for modification.
Modification.
Why?
So I think
How is it violating?
in the above, I feel somewhere.
He's talking about switch case can be avoided here,
Mhm.
but if that is, this is not violating the open close principle.
Mhm. This is not.
This is open for extension here. I mean, yeah, I guess a switch case. If you want to make it ultra cool, then yeah, depending on the type, you can have a map of this type of load balancer, then have this. Okay, okay, yeah, that's true. Okay, good catch. System design repo. I have just shared the link, guys. Low level design. Damn, we are missing on sales here. if you if you want the notification the fastest and in the best deal, I would strongly suggest go to interview ready and just register yourselves. Just log in, register. We'll send you an email soon. It's going to give you the best deal. Okay, when we make the public announcement, it will be not with the best deal maybe. So just go there, register yourselves. You'll get the notification as soon as possible when we have it up on prod. That's the best bit. Okay. Online Shikshak is very happy with what we have. Okay. Arun, anything that we should do before we walk into the sunset?
Mm, no, I think this is great. I think the questions were also great. Vinit, you were great. Suggestions were great.
Yeah,
And
thank you. Thank you for this, guys.
if we look at it, just final note, guys. If we look at it, right now it is 8-9, and we were able to wind up, I think, at 7:50. Right. So all in all, this is a perfect interview experience. Gaurav was not ready at all, honestly. He hadn't prepared. Like, he just took the topic, and I just gave him. And in the middle, I was just trying to make things difficult for him. So I think great work.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's it. And of
Okay,
course,
guys.
there could be many modifications could be done. By the way, guys, there could be many modifications that could be done. This is an interview experience. Okay, interviewer
Yeah,
will want to test a few things. Of course, Gaurav cannot give you the perfect solution. By the way, we have tried to give you perfect solution on the course, but here in an interview, nobody can come up with the perfect solution at once. What we can do is by practice or by looking at systems or by reading them or by trying to code it ourselves, maybe we can, think early and come up with a better solution. So this is a perfect interview experience, which I want to say. Okay, there could be a number of mistakes into it, or maybe we can optimize it in a much better way. But in an interview, this is how it goes.
yeah, yeah. I think like Vineet, I think mentioned above that you can use a heap and there are always some awesome optimizations you can do. Okay, there's others who's asking. I have been one of the earliest subscribers, early bird of interview ready. My only
Okay.
ask since long has been to have a LLD repo for Python equivalents. Hope we get it soon.
Okay.
I and Arun are not experts in Python, and then we can probably write the code in Python, but I don't know how much it will help you because we will not be explaining the code, right? Frankly speaking, the language is language agnostic. Na, Arun, what do you think?
Yeah. Yes. So the first two parts of the chapter. So each and every chapter is divided into three parts: use case diagram, class diagram, and then the code. So use case diagram is language agnostic. Class diagram, which is built using the use case diagram, is again language agnostic. Then when you're writing the code, I think what I feel is that people should be able to write them using the class diagram because that is what we are doing. There are very little modifications which you are doing while writing the code, which could vary from the class diagram, very little. But so I feel this is language agnostic.
I'll just
People
show the
can try.
course. No,
Yeah,
Arun, is it okay if I
yeah,
show
yeah,
a picture of the course?
yeah. Why not? Let's go ahead.
Okay, let's go to account. Let's go to course. Let's go to social media app. Let's go to code, right? Okay, you can see that this is reasonably high rated. And Arun has taken this, which is amazing. Now, look at this stuff. Even before we go to social media app, right?
You can start from the beginning, Gaurav. You can start from the beginning.
Yeah,
Just
let's go
show
here.
them. Yeah.
So, use case diagram.
I think. Can you please remove this comment? I don't think people would be able to see it fully.
Oh, yes, of course. I just
Comment. Yeah.
sharing. Yes. You see, initially the requirements are explained well. Then we start talking about what are the things that a registered user should be able to do. And in some cases where we think that drawing it out makes more sense, the explanation is that way. So first we note down what are the requirements of the user. This has nothing to do with language, like you can see. It's clearly something to do with, like you would do this in any company, even in a startup. What do we need to do? Okay. That is called a use case diagram. What are the use cases? Who are the actors of this system? So Arun has explained this really well, and you can see it being backed by ratings. These are not ratings which are pumped by me. These are actual frank ratings. Okay. Then that same use
Then
case
of
diagram
course.
has been put over here so that you can just download it like later on when you're revising just before an interview. Now you have a class diagram. Each of these is so there's an explanation of what the class diagram does. You can see what Arun
And
is doing
this
here.
and this is built using the use case diagram, guys. This is built using the use case diagram.
Right. And you have every state and behavior being mentioned here.
Yes.
So class diagram part 1, class diagram part 2.
And we are also talking about the relation, guys. Just pause here, right here. We are also talking about the relations between different classes or entities, if you can see.
Yeah. In fact, you see this over here. We found that the rating is not very high, so we immediately started connecting with you. Before we started this, session, I already told you that maybe we have connected with some of you already, because there are certain places where we found that you didn't like it much. You can see here that there are 13 ratings and it has roughly 3 star on average. So this needs improvement, and we are connecting. So okay,
and we are improving.
Yeah, and we are improving. Like we kind of know what is required. A lot of you said that, why don't you explain the design pattern before that? Yeah, the basics.
Yes.
Just go for fundamentals first. So we are working
So
on
guys,
that. We'll have a fundamental section here.
Yes.
So okay, timeline and tweet. Again, this is now what's happened is Arun is still going ahead with the classes. He's not jumping to the code like, wow, okay, I'm done. No. Here also he's given an explanation of what classes are needed, what kind of behaviors they'll have, view tweet, add tweet, so on. Tweet class, comments and likes.
What parameters they are taking, we are also talking about that. What would be the return type? We are also talking about that.
Right. Every single thing explained. The cardinality in these sets also is explained. 1:1, 1:1. And then finally, when we are comfortable, then we go to code. The fact is, these are being explained. That's the reason why it takes time. But if you go in the interview, having gone through these videos, right now there are 4 more are being added. But if you go through all this, you will be ready. You don't need to explain to the interviewer as much as we need to explain, because obviously there's a teaching angle here, right? And if you want a kind of a reference as to, there are 4 here right now. I'll just show you the system design course, the simplified course. That one, fundamentals are first explained. Okay, then high level design, then low level design. You can see that initially this course also had only 4 videos, 4 chapters. Now it has 15. Today, by the way, I added one more. I haven't said the. Okay, I'll announce it here only. Google Docs. Google Docs is a new chapter. You can see it's totally new. 0 ratings. Gmail service, you can see there's 23 ratings. Okay.
Yeah.
24 ratings. Yeah. So that's how it is. all and free resources. I think will have the maximum number of ratings, 142 ratings. Stuff which is free, of course, because it's being consumed by everyone. Yeah, this is ad free and everything, so probably you want to go and check this out. Good stuff. So if you feel like purchasing the course right now, it's not out there for public, the low level design, please sign up and we'll connect with you. If you feel like purchasing the system design simplified course, again, this is super worth it. You can go to your account and you can access these courses. I'm the only guy with this course. It's going to come out soon. So Arun, I think you also have it.
Yeah, I also have it.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Okay, guys, I'll just stop sharing screen. Any questions that we should take before we end?
I think there's one question that Adarsh has put. Can you take
Okay.
it? Ask him.
Okay. My question was specifically for the machine coding and event bus and machine coding a cache from the system design course. This will help us understand the ideal structure for those code bases. Okay. Yeah, that is there here, no, in system design simplified.
Yes, it has already been covered. So, guys.
Yeah, that uses Java again. Okay, you're right. That does not use UML diagrams. All this. That's for SD3 and above. So they will expect you to know the language that you're coding with quite well. Yeah. It is, many of them are language agnostic, the principles. Threading, concurrency, low latency. But yeah, if you're going at that level of machine coding, then if you're using Python, then the expectation is you'll know the internals of Python and you'll use it well. If you're using Node.js, there's an expectation that you know what you're doing. Even in front end, you'll see when you're doing a machine coding round, it's not just that you're coding at a high level, you're coding at a pretty deep level. So I'm using Java because I understand Java, but Python, I don't know how many people use Python for machine coding. The ones who do are quite comfortable with it. If you come up with a Python code, Adarsh, please let us know. And if you want to post it anywhere for free, or if you want to add it to interview ready, that will be behind a paywall. So if you want to post it for free on the YouTube channel, I'll be more than happy to promote you, or anybody who wants to code it on Python. But it's a thing that I'm not capable of doing. I don't want to send you in the wrong direction saying, yeah, machine coding for SD3 Python, yeah, sure, here it is. That won't be fair. Yeah. SD course for old members, we can't merge them, but we have given you a very special discount.
Yeah, we have given you 75% discount. Right.
Yeah. It's worth it, dude.
It's worth
in
it.
my opinion, you should go for it. That is for that's a machine coding and quite in depth. It is also worth it, that LLE content, and this is also worth it. Okay, feel free to connect with us separately also if you feel like. But yeah, it's a pretty good deal. It's 2K for you, right? So it's going up now. Create a video on how to build your own server that handles multiple TCP connection. Okay. Okay. Others. All right. Great. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I better get back. But thank you for making this possible. I'll add in timestamps so that you know which part are we actually coding in. If you feel like getting interview ready, come to interview ready and register so that we can send you the notification when the low-level design course is out. Yeah, we are super excited about it. To put things in perspective, we sold nearly 500, 500 courses. Not 500 courses. What is the exact term for this?
We have sold this course to 500 people.
500 people, yeah. In a few days.
Yes.
I think by Sunday or by Monday we had. So we released it on Wednesday. First half an hour there were 100 sales immediately. So that's amazing. We are so happy with the response. Thank you so much. And then it didn't drop down. Like it was continuous. We haven't promoted it anywhere. We just gave it to people who have already purchased the interview ready course. and it's an amazing response. Thank you so much. We are working on the improvements. So
Feedbacks.
yes. Okay, guys, we'll catch up later. See you then. Take care. Bye bye.